The highlight of this week for me was our World Cafe activity, in which we had everyone separate out into smaller groups, 10 groups altogether, and they had to write out questions for each project. So for example, the project manager would come around to each table and ask the group of people at the table, what are you curious about my project? So if legal came around and they asked a legal question, for example, like, why is your lawyer traveling so often these days? So that was really helpful because our teams got to just dump out, questions for our project managers, and we got to put them up, and then afterwards, everyone just walked around and just read the questions that they had. Some of the project managers actually wrote on 2 pieces of paper just because there were so many questions. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and it will help us inform some of our reporting that we want to share internally, some of the things we want to monitor, some of the things that our staff needs to learn about and needs to be clarified to everyone.
So my project will be developed more related to the outcome mapping and harvesting, so I can collect the new idea in order to writing the project team about the expectation, love to see and like to see, so we can know what we want to do and what we want to see in the future and the result, and can meet to the goal as well.
Most highlight learning with was time management. The reason that this is the most important for me, and then it could help me to manage the time. In case that currently I do the research for my study, and then I could apply the time management in myself. Like I could use to prioritize the time, what is the comfort time for me, what is the tired time for me, so I could use it effectively.
So on day 2, Helen actually led a session on stress gaps. So it was called Expectations versus Reality, and then we were supposed to identify, what happens with our response to when those expectations don't meet our reality. And I thought that it was really interesting that a lot of the teams had very similar stress gaps. Whether that was concerns about reporting, it was confusing, or sometimes it took too long, or we couldn't meet the deadlines, or whether it was stress about the time it takes for Butterfly to transcribe and translate their interviews from Khmer into English. Or finance forms. Improving our finance system is definitely something that we have talked about and continue to talk about, just because it takes so much time for our staff to really travel, come back, complete the forms, and then move on to their actual work.